Hello guys, I hope you're fine. So let's start our lesson. Our topic today is comparatives and superlatives. Let's start with comparatives. When do we use these forms? So just imagine you want to compare two people, two things, or two places. Let's say A and B, and they're not equal. Like Tom is taller than Jack. Yeah, they're not equal. Or you may also compare two groups of people or two groups of things, like this one group, and here is another groups, and they're also not equal. Yeah, you may use comparatives as well. Okay, just imagine, yeah, you want to compare subjects like English and PE. You say English is more difficult than PE, or you want to compare 2 months, August and January, and you say that August is harder than January. Let's talk about the structure. You know, there are short adjectives and long adjectives. By short adjectives, I mean one syllable adjectives, like one syllable, like tall. Yeah, so what we have here, we use ER ending and we have taller or taller than. If the last letter is E, like in the word brave, it's also one syllable word, but the last letter is E, so we add only R. So we have braver, braver than. A lion is braver than a rabbit. If we have a short adjective, but it has consonant, vowel, consonant, we need to double the last consonant. So we double it and double the last letter, the last consonant. And then we add ER as well. So we have here bigger, bigger than, and so on. Or hot, hotter, the same case. If we have two syllable adjective and the last letter is Y, two syllables, like in lucky, 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 two syllables. The last letter is Y. So what we have here, we don't need this Y letter anymore, but we add IER and we have luckier, luckier. She's luckier than me, or healthy, healthier, the same case. If we have two syllable words, adjective, and the last letter is not Y, like in the word interesting. Interesting is a long adjective. So we need to use the word more before this adjective. We have it like this. More interesting. Interesting. This book is more interesting than the film. Or the word crowded. Crowded. Istanbul is more crowded than Alanya. Good. There are also some irregular comparative forms. They're as follows. You need to memorize three adjectives: good, bad, and far. Their comparatives are better, good, better, bad, worse, and far, either farther or further. Like Paris is further than Ankara, yeah, if we live in Alanya. Good. So now, let's speak about superlatives now. So, for superlatives, we take a person, a thing, a place, and compare with all the others from the same group. Yes, something like this. August is the hottest month of the year. Hottest month of the year. The hottest is a superlative. You see, we choose August and compare it with all the other months, and you see the result here. Or you may say, again, let's take Istanbul. Istanbul is the best city I've ever visited. So the best is superlative, and you see that superlatives we can use with present perfect as well. So we compare Istanbul with all the other places I've already visited, and Istanbul is the best so far. So here you can see also that we use the before superlative. Let's speak about the structure. So, again, here we first of all we have a look and decide whether the adjectives is one syllable or two syllables or more. Yeah, so with one syllable adjectives, again, let's take tall. We add est ending, and don't forget that we also need to use the. So we have the tallest. Yeah, like Ahmed is the tallest student in the class. If the last letter is E, and it's also one syllable adjective, we add only st. We have the bravest, tallest, the bravest. Again, if the adjective is one syllable and with a short one, yeah, and we see that there is a consonant, vowel, consonant, again, we double the last consonant and we add est. So we have here one more G and est. So the biggest. We double the last letter. Okay, so if the adjective has two syllables or more, yes, two syllables or more, again, we need to pay attention to the last letter. If the letter is Y, we don't use this Y anymore, but we add IEST. So the luckiest. She is the luckiest person I've ever seen. Or healthy, the healthiest. Jane is the healthiest girl in the class. Yeah, good. And interesting. the last letter is not Y, so we need to use most, yeah, or the most before it. So we have the most interesting, the most interesting. That film is the most interesting I've ever seen. And again, there are some exceptions, some irregular superlatives. You remember the words, right? So we have good, bad, and far. So these superlatives are as follows. The best, the worst, and the farthest, or the furthest. That's the worst meal I've ever had. That's the best song in the world. Some examples for you. And I would like to mention one more structure, as, or not as. We can use this structure to compare things or people or places as well. Jane is as healthy as Mary. So here we compare two girls, Jane and Mary, and they're both healthy. So we use as when two people, two things, two group of things are equal. They're nearly the same. And pay attention that between as we use adjectives. We don't change the form. It's not healthier. We don't need to use than. Just use adjective as it is. If the things or people or places are not equal, we use negative form. P is not as difficult as English. Not as difficult as English. So we compare two subjects here, P and English, and we see that English is more difficult. They're not equal. So we use this structure. Again, there are no endings here. And one more thing that you need to remember here is that sometimes we may use pronouns after this structure. Ye are not as lucky as me. It's the same as you are not as lucky as I am. So if you want to use a pronoun after this structure, you need to use an object pronoun. Please don't use personal pronouns at this after this structure. If you want to use it, you need to add also auxiliary. It may be different depending on the tense that we have here. Just keep it in mind. That's all for today. Thank you guys. I hope you understood this topic. See you soon.